Well, it's 8:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, the 13th of April here in the goat shed. And today we're going to have a very quick look at what we do here in the shed when we receive a machine. Now, last week we received this Williams Valencia. Now, there's lots of Toledos around, but there's not many Valencias. Even the IPDB has no idea how many were made. Not a lot, apparently. So, the machine itself is in fairly poor disrepair. The cabinet isn't too bad for its age. The owner would probably want to clean that up a bit, but the playfield needs a lot of work. So, we're going to re-rubber the playfield, clean it, wax it, and do our best to clean up the plastics and take it from there. Look at that, there's a really badly worn bumper skirt. We'll have to replace both those by the look of it. So, you know, we replace all the parts as we go. But it's important when you get a new pinball machine. I know the temptation to want to play it and fix little things is there, but you really have to go through everything. Like, look at this one here, for argument's sake. The flipper coil's hanging out of it. It needs to be replaced and repaired. We'll go over the whole of the trip bank mechanisms. We've got one mighty big one here. We've got one in the middle. We've got a stepper unit, so that'll either be an advanced stepper probably or a bonus stepper, knowing a Williams. Then we've got to move down to the motorboard. And look, the simple thing about this is this is a sample game, sample number 45, sample cabinet. So that's interesting. But look at the mess in the bottom of it. We've got to go through all that and find plenty of spare parts in there anyway. The motor, score motor, will have to be gone through. So we'll remove all the switch stacks off that in one go, and we'll put the score motor in the ultrasonic cleaner and give it a clean up. Now we've got one of those. Clean all the Jones plugs, of course, and do these two steppers here. So here we have the ball count unit. So there's a spring there, you can see it's badly stretched. And then over there we would have the coin unit. Very problematic if you don't get those fixed up, because the coin unit goes hand in hand with the stepper unit in the back box, which we're working on over here. So when in the back box, here's what we do. We've literally got every score reel out of it. Here they all are. And they're being rebuilt. There's one getting rebuilt as we speak. We've got to do all the reset relays and the score relays. We have to do the credit unit. That's got to come out yet and be done. That's the circuit board off the 0 to 9 unit, and the circuit board off the player unit. Player unit's over here somewhere. It's already been done. There's the player unit there. We strip them right out of the machine, as you can see, so we can get it and clean everything as best we can. All those parts there have been through the ultrasonic cleaner. We're still actually experimenting with different solutions to find out what suits us best, times, etc. Unfortunately, we can't seem to find simple green purple here. So, there's Spanky overlooking the job. And then over here we have the match unit, 0 to 9 step unit, which has just been completed. So as you can see, it looks really nice and clean. We've replaced that horrible metal coil sleeve. Look, it was worn. So sometimes they are hard to get out. You've got to unsolder the coil and put it in the vise and knock it out. So this looks quite nice, but what we've found here, this one, if you watch carefully when we step it, it wants to step backwards. Can you see that? Step backwards before it steps forwards. Now that can be problematic in respect of, with the wiper fingers, it would be possible if it stepped back to strike the last one rather than drive forward. So the simple way to fix that is that Williams provided an adjustment, which is here. This thrust screw, that will compensate for any wear. Appreciate that plunger there wears out, or gets flatter, the coil stop gets flatter, and it adjusts the position that that's in. So what we have to do now is just have a quick look at this, and we'll see. The idea is you need to get, let's get some focus. That needs to come, that tooth needs to rest up, that one needs to rest up against the gear. Now the way to achieve that is to actually turn the screw in, because what we've got here, we've got movement here. Let me see, let me get my finger in the road. We've got movement in there. Oh, there's my finger there in the road again. We've got movement in here. No, I can't quite get it while holding the camera. Oh, there we go. We'll try this. See that little bit of movement in there? Before it strikes. So the way to do that is just adjust that in. So you watch, we'll move this thrust screw. Just get the screwdriver out so I can do it. And you watch. See, that's closing the gap. And that's probably good enough. You want the arm to be able to drop back in, which it is. Looks like it's going in slow motion for some reason there, doesn't it? But it's actually quite snappy. And there, that's good now. So when we drive that arm forward, it won't go backwards now. You watch. See that? It's probably good it's going in slow motion. You can get a bit of an idea. That's very good. So that's perfect. Now all you need to do now is tighten up that lock nut here, which is that's a 7/16 inch. So we'll tighten that up, and away we go. Oops, hard to do this. Still got to invest in one of those stand things that you can use. So just tighten that lock nut up. So that's how you adjust one of those Williams steppers. So in the front of the game here, we're going to have to change all the bulbs and lots to do. So by doing what we're suggesting and talking about here, and having all the right tools, all the spin tights, you'll be able to achieve very satisfactory results doing your machines. That's the ultrasonic cleaner we bought. I think I bought that just before Christmas last year. It cost, I think, 180 Australian dollars. That's a 10 litre one. I understand these are sold all throughout the world under different brand names, made in China or something, I guess. We've tried a few different things. We've tried this a hydrocarbon degrees, a HRD. We've put dishwashing liquid in it. And we did use originally a simple green, I think it was an orangey colour, which was all we could get at the time. So yeah, we're still really experimenting with that, and we'll talk more about that a little later on when we've sort of figured it all out. But anyway, that's what you do when you get a new machine. You really need to go over the whole machine, make sure you're happy with it, cleaning everything up, adjusting it, and the thing will work again for another 40 years. You won't have to worry about it. So, as Spanky says, do it once, do it right. This has been another Goat Shed presentation.